Death Row by Freida McFadden. Imagine being trapped in a world where life and death hang by a thread. Where every moment feels like a countdown, ticking away until that final, inevitable moment. This is the haunting reality in Freida McFadden's Death Row, a gripping novel that immerses readers into a complex web of suspense, mystery, and moral dilemmas. In this chilling narrative, McFadden paints a portrait of what it means to be on the brink of death, and the powerful forces at play when the truth, justice, and survival collide. As the story unfolds, we find ourselves not only questioning the meaning of guilt but also exploring the devastating consequences of one decision, one mistake, or one choice that changes everything. The story begins with an unexpected twist, pulling readers into a dark and unsettling world. A man sits on death row, his life slowly ticking away as the days drag on. Convicted of a heinous crime, he is left with nothing but the knowledge that his time is limited. His story, however, is far from simple. While the world around him believes he deserves his fate, there are pieces of the puzzle that remain hidden, secrets buried deep within the system. As we follow his journey, McFadden masterfully weaves together themes of redemption, retribution, and the question of whether anyone truly deserves the death penalty. Our protagonist is a man whose life was destroyed by one tragic event, an event that he swears he didn't commit. At the center of his world is a crime he insists he didn't commit, yet the weight of the evidence against him is overwhelming. The relentless nature of the justice system pushes him further into despair, but within the confines of his cell, he holds on to one thing, the hope that there is someone out there who can uncover the truth. As the narrative progresses, the story shifts between perspectives, drawing readers into a tangled web of lies, corruption, and betrayal. We're introduced to the investigative journalist, driven by a need to expose the truth, whose path crosses with the condemned man's as she tries to unravel the mystery of his conviction. But her investigation takes her deeper than she anticipated, uncovering dark secrets that have been buried for years, and forcing her to confront her own beliefs about the justice system and its flaws. The tension builds as both characters race against time. With every passing day, the condemned man inches closer to his execution date, while the journalist uncovers more and more about the case. There are twists at every corner, each one more shocking than the last. The true nature of the crime begins to unravel, and the reader is left wondering, was this man truly guilty, or has the justice system failed him? In Death Row, McFadden explores the psychological toll of being on the edge of death. The condemned man's mental and emotional state deteriorates as the reality of his fate sets in. Every minute spent in his small, isolated cell weighs on him, forcing him to grapple with the idea of his own mortality. It's a haunting look at the human psyche under extreme pressure, and McFadden's portrayal of this struggle is both raw and compelling. The characters in Death Row are complex and multidimensional, each grappling with their own demons and motivations. The condemned man is not just a statistic or a nameless face in a prison cell, he is a human being who once had a life, dreams, and aspirations. His emotional journey is both heartbreaking and relatable, making him a character readers can't help but sympathize with, even as they question his innocence. The investigative journalist is equally compelling, driven by her desire to uncover the truth but also dealing with her own moral dilemmas. She becomes more than just an observer, she becomes a participant in the story, torn between her professional duty and her growing personal connection to the man on death row. The plot is thick with suspense, never letting up as the story moves toward its explosive conclusion. Just when you think you know how the story will unfold, McFadden introduces another twist, forcing you to reconsider everything you thought you knew. The tension between the condemned man and the justice system is palpable, and readers are kept on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next revelation. McFadden's writing style is both haunting and beautiful. She masterfully weaves together the emotional depth of her characters with a fast-paced, suspenseful plot that keeps readers hooked. Her descriptions are vivid, painting a clear picture of the grim atmosphere inside the prison, as well as the emotional turmoil the characters experience. The pacing is perfect, allowing the tension to build gradually, with each new twist and turn only increasing the stakes. The ending of Death Row is a testament to McFadden's ability to deliver a story that is both thought-provoking and shocking. Without giving away too much, it's safe to say that the conclusion will leave readers stunned and questioning the very nature of justice and punishment. In the final moments, McFadden challenges readers to reflect on their own beliefs about guilt, innocence, and the system that claims to determine them. One of the most striking elements of Death Row is its exploration of the justice system. Through the lens of this one man's experience, McFadden forces readers to confront the flaws and imperfections of a system that is meant to deliver fairness and equality. The novel raises important questions about the nature of justice. Can a system that makes mistakes truly be trusted with a life-and-death decision? How much is the truth worth when the system has already made up its mind? And perhaps most importantly, what happens to a person who has been condemned by society, even if they are innocent? The novel also explores the emotional toll of being wrongfully convicted. The condemned man's journey is not just physical but also psychological, as he battles the haunting memories of his past and the crushing weight of his impending death. As he reflects on his life, his mistakes, and the people he loved, we are given a glimpse into the human experience of regret and despair. It's a stark reminder of how one decision can shape the course of an entire life. McFadden also delves into the human capacity for empathy, compassion, and redemption. As the investigative journalist digs deeper into the case, she is forced to confront her own biases and assumptions. She is no longer just a journalist reporting on a story, she becomes personally invested in the outcome, torn between her professional duties and her growing sense of empathy for the condemned man. This struggle adds an emotional layer to the story, highlighting the complexities of human relationships and the fine line between right and wrong. Ultimately, Death Row is not just a story about one man's fight for survival, it is a reflection on the larger issues of justice, morality, and the human condition. McFadden has crafted a novel that forces readers to question their own assumptions about guilt and innocence, about right and wrong, and about the power of the justice system. It's a tale of desperation, but also of hope, the hope that even in the darkest of circumstances, there is always a chance for redemption. In conclusion, Death Row by Freida McFadden is a compelling, heart-pounding story that will keep readers on the edge of their seats from start to finish. With its complex characters, intense suspense, and thought-provoking themes, it's a novel that lingers long after the last page is turned. Whether you're a fan of thrillers, mysteries, or psychological dramas, Death Row offers a unique and unforgettable reading experience. Don't miss out on this thrilling journey into the heart of the justice system and the human soul.